What if I told you that Jaguar Wright just did it again? But this time, she didn't just spill tea. She detonated a bomb. Yup. The woman who built a career exposing industry secrets just went live claiming she has footage. Not rumors, not screenshots, but actual video proof of Tiny's secret wedding. A ceremony that allegedly happened behind T's back. You heard that right. A wedding in 4K with guests, rings, vows, and silence. Now the internet's in flames, because if Jaguar's telling the truth, then the king of the South has been living in a lie. Ty breaks down after a hidden marriage exposed isn't a headline. It's happening right now. The man who turned his marriage into a TV franchise just got outplayed on the world's biggest stage, social media. But here's the question no one's asking. Why would Jaguar Wright leak it now? What does she gain from exposing this? Revenge, clout? Or is there something deeper, something bigger that connects all three of them? Because once you start digging into this scandal, you realize this isn't just about love and betrayal. It's about power, control, and a leak that might end more than a marriage. When Jaguar Wright went live that night, the internet thought it was just another rant. You know, the usual half-truth, half-explosive monologue that ends up trending for 2 days and disappearing into celebrity TikTok hell. But this time, something in her tone was different. She wasn't laughing. She wasn't singing. She was furious. "Y'all think I'm crazy. I got receipts," she said. Eyes locked on the camera. Not screenshots, not DMs. Actual footage. And then she dropped the words that made the entire Atlantis scene freeze. Tiny's secret wedding. Within 10 minutes, the live had over 100,000 viewers. The comments section turned into chaos. Hearts, clown emojis, prayer hands, broken hearts. One fan typed, "Please don't play with us, Jag. Not Tiny and Ty again." Another wrote, "Girl, you lying unless you really got that clip." Then Jaguar smirked, like she'd been waiting her whole life for that moment. "Oh, I got it. And the man she married. Let's just say he ain't no stranger to the industry." And just like that, she ended the live. Gone. No context, no follow-up, just silence. But that was enough. Within the hour, the clip was all over Twitter, Reddit, Instagram, and gossip forums that haven't been active since 2018 suddenly came alive again. Tiny's name was trending in 47 cities. T's old interviews were getting reposted, and Jaguar, right? She became the internet's favorite villain and hero at the same time. For anyone new to this circus, Jaguar has a history of throwing grenades at the industry. Years ago, she called out big-name producers, accused major stars of industry crimes, and went viral for exposing alleged secrets that no one else had the nerve to say out loud. Half the world thinks she's delusional. The other half thinks she's the last honest soul left in the game. And now, she's claiming to have the most damaging footage Atlanta's seen since the Diddy raids. By sunrise, gossip bloggers were already crafting thumbnails with red circles, zoomed-in faces, and leaked footage in bold. Some claimed they'd seen it. Others pretended they had exclusive details, just to ride the algorithm. A small clip, 7 seconds long, started spreading on Telegram. It showed a woman in a white dress laughing, her voice identical to Tiny's. You couldn't see the groom's face, but the setting screamed money. Chandeliers, white roses, expensive suits, everything. Then a blurry hand reached out, sliding a ring onto hers. The crowd gasped softly. Someone yelled, "We love you, Mrs. H." And the clip cut off. 7 seconds. But that was enough to destroy 15 years of marriage. Meanwhile, T was completely silent. His camp didn't respond. No denial, no statement, not even a cryptic post. That silence made things worse. Fans started speculating that he'd already seen the footage and was planning his next move. On Twitter, one user wrote, "If Tip don't post in 24 hours, it's real." The next day came and went. Nothing. The internet declared it official. Tiny played him. And then the alleged backstory started spilling out. According to an anonymous industry assistant, you know, the ones who magically appear whenever tea is hot, Tiny had been secretly seeing a well-known Atlanta producer for months. The rumors said they'd gotten close during recording sessions, bonded over business drama, and eventually started meeting privately after hours. T was too focused on his podcast. The assistant claimed she was lonely, tired of his ego, tired of pretending. Supposedly, the secret ceremony wasn't legal, just a symbolic union. But still, in the South, symbolism cuts deep. Jaguar's fans started connecting dots. She'd once mentioned knowing a certain producer who had receipts on his phone that could end a marriage. Now, it looked like she wasn't bluffing. One of her old tweets resurfaced from months ago. When the queen marries another king in silence, the empire falls. People thought she was talking about Beyoncé back then. Turns out maybe she meant Tiny. By now, radio stations were covering it. Podcasts were calling it Atlanta's biggest betrayal since Usher's scandal. A few insiders even claimed the footage had been offered to major outlets for sale. 6 figures. TMZ supposedly passed for legal reasons. But that didn't stop underground blogs from leaking frame-by-frame breakdowns. They froze the image, enhanced the lighting, analyzed every reflection, and in one corner of the video, barely visible behind the floral arch, stood a man wearing a gold chain with a pea pendant. The same pendant a certain producer was known for wearing. The narrative started writing itself. Tiny married her producer. Fans screamed. Jaguar wasn't lying. Others argued it was old footage from a music video shoot. But nobody wanted calm explanations. They wanted chaos, because chaos gets views. Behind the scenes, multiple sources said T.I. had seen the full clip days before Jaguar leaked it. A close associate allegedly told him, "Bro, don't go online yet. Let's handle this privately." But he couldn't hold it together. He was spotted leaving his Buckhead mansion at 2:00 a.m., wearing a hoodie and looking like a man whose world just imploded. Paparazzi footage caught him shaking his head, whispering, "I can't believe this." *T. Meanwhile, Tiny's camp was scrambling. Her team tried to push a new project announcement to bury the scandal. An EP teaser that dropped on Instagram with the caption, "Love always wins." Wrong move. The comments were brutal. Love wins but loyalty lost. One said another, "Girl, you wore white twice." Within hours, she turned the comments off. Jaguar, right? Of course. Wasn't done. She went live again, sipping tea like she just watched her prophecy unfold. "See, they always call me crazy until the truth shows up." She said, "I told y'all the industry hides everything. I just turned the lights on." Her live pulled another 200k views, and the internet lost its mind. She didn't even show the full footage, just a blurry screenshot enough to confirm that it existed. And that was all she needed to trend again. At this point, everyone wanted to know one thing. Why Jaguar? How did she even get this footage? Some believe she got it from a disgruntled employee who worked at Tiny Studio. Others said she had ties to the event planner. But the wildest rumor that T.I. himself leaked it to her out of revenge. Think about it. One user wrote, "He's mad, he's humiliated, and he knows Jaguar is the perfect chaos agent." The theory spread fast because honestly, it made sense. The narrative started flipping every hour. 1 second, Jaguar was the villain. The next, she was a whistleblower. Tiny went from being the victim of a smear campaign to the architect of her own downfall. And he became the internet's emotional punching bag. Old clips of him talking about trusting your woman resurfaced with laughing emojis. Memes of him crying in slow motion over R&B tracks flooded TikTok. Even comedians jumped in. One posted a skit titled, "Ty watching Tiny's wedding footage." Like it hit 1 million views overnight. But under all the noise, something darker was. On Chejabu Brewing, because according to another anonymous tip, this time allegedly from someone close to Jaguar. The leaked footage wasn't the only thing she had. That was just the preview. The source said the full version has audio, and if the rumors were true, that audio contained voices, vows, and one specific line that would change everything. Tiny whispering, "Finally free." When that claim dropped, fans went feral. Threads titled, "Tiny said she's free from what" exploded across Reddit. Some interpreted it as freedom from her marriage. Others said it meant something spiritual, but everyone agreed. If that audio existed, it could end T's career. The man built his image on family loyalty, on being the reformed husband who turned drama into empire. If that illusion shattered, everything he'd built would crumble with it. And that's when it happened. One mysterious tweet from a burner account that simply said, "Part 2 coming." No one knew who posted it. Some said it was Jaguar herself. Others swore it came from a hacked phone. But that tweet meant one thing. This scandal wasn't over. It was only getting started. This scandal wasn't over. It was only getting started. Because within hours of that mysterious tweet, a new file started circulating through encrypted group chats labeled Tiny Wedding F. Nobody knew who sent it or where it came from, but the thumbnail alone was enough to make people lose their minds. A clearer shot of Tiny at an altar, surrounded by candles, smiling like she hadn't a care in the world. And right there, standing across from her, was a man wearing the same chain that fans had already identified as belonging to a well-known Atlanta producer. The file was password protected, but clips started leaking in fragments. A hand sliding a ring, a soft laugh, someone whispering, "It's official." No music, no editing, just raw reality. And it was enough to end careers. By noon, every gossip page from the neighborhood, Talk to Shadoom clones had reposted screenshots, each claiming exclusive access. Fans went into overdrive, comparing the outfit Tiny wore to the one she had on in her last Instagram story weeks earlier. Someone even pulled metadata from the clip, showing a timestamp that matched a day she told followers she was in the studio. The betrayal wasn't just emotional now, it was digital timestamped and real. So while he was in interviews, talking about marriage advice, one tweet said she was getting married to somebody else. Jaguar Wright, meanwhile, was basking in her Velena. She went live again, holding her phone like a trophy. "They told me I was lying," she said, her voice but steady. Now the truth out, and everybody want to play dumb. They knew. She claimed she'd warned T months ago through a mutual contact, but he didn't want to listen. Then she smiled, that cold, satisfied smile, and said, "You can't fix a marriage built on image." Sanchin. That quote alone turned into a meme. But what came next was even wilder. A voice note allegedly from Tiny herself leaked. In it, a woman sounding identical to her was heard saying, "I didn't mean for it to come out this way. I just wanted peace." The clip was barely 10 seconds long, but it exploded. News outlets started quoting it. Fans argued about its authenticity, and T.I.'s silence started to look less like grace and more like guilt. "He's too quiet," one tweet read. "Either he's about to explode or he's plotting revenge." And revenge, oh, it came fast. Late that night, T finally posted a video. No fancy background, no editing, just him in his car, eyes low, voice trembling. "You can fool the people," he said, "but you can't fool the truth." It wasn't a denial. It wasn't confirmation. It was heartbreak disguised as composure. But fans didn't need more. They clipped it, added sad music, and titled it T.E.'s Final Goodbye. It trended in 8 countries. Behind the scenes, sources claim T.I. had hired private investigators to trace the original leak. They allegedly discovered that the video had been uploaded from a burner device, registered under a fake name, linked to someone close to Tiny's new business team. That connection changed everything. It's not random. One insider said someone wanted to destroy her. or expose her for revenge. Suddenly, Tiny went from homewrecker to possible victim. Jaguar Wright's name was still trending, but now fans started wondering if she was being used as a pawn. Then, a new bomb dropped. An anonymous account posted screenshots of messages allegedly between Jaguar and a studio insider discussing how to time the leak right. One message read, "Let it drop when T.I.'s next interview airs. That'll kill the rollout." Whether those screenshots were real or fake didn't matter. They were believable, and in scandal culture, believable is enough. The next morning, Tiny's lawyer released a short statement, denying all claims, calling the footage heavily manipulated and illegally obtained. But that phrasing only made things worse. Manipulated sounded like confirmation. Illegally obtained sounded like guilt. Fans latched on to every word. So, it's real, just not recent. One tweet joked. Another said, "They said the same thing about Diddy's footage before the FBI pulled up." The comparisons got brutal fast. Meanwhile, Jaguar Wright doubled down. She uploaded a cryptic video titled "The Tape They Don't Want You to See." It wasn't the wedding footage. It was a montage of screenshots, blurred faces, and background audio that sounded like vows being exchanged. The captions read, "They silenced me for years. Not this time." The comments were divided, half cheering her on, half calling her evil. But every minute of watch time was algorithm gold. And while social media went wild, Atlanta insiders started whispering that this wasn't just a marital scandal. It was a financial war. Tiny's alleged new partner wasn't just any producer. He had ties to the distribution company behind T.I.'s latest project. Some believe this secret wedding was part of a business betrayal, that she'd shifted control of certain rights to her new circle. This ain't just love drama. One post read, "It's about money, power, and who owns what." The speculation made it sound like an empire collapsing in real time. Ty, according to reports, wasn't just hurt. He was humiliated. He'd spent years building his image as the protective husband, the man who turned family life into a brand. Now that brand was bleeding. One associate claimed he canned $1 million endorsement deal because he couldn't fake smiles on camera right now. Meanwhile, paparazzi caught him arriving at his lawyer's office in Atlanta. Face covered, security surrounding him. Rumor says he's preparing to sue for defamation, not against Jaguar, but against whoever gave her the footage. But the internet didn't care about lawsuits. They cared about receipts. And that's when another curveball hit. A clip surfaced of T confronting a friend on FaceTime, yelling, "You knew about this. Don't lie to me." The friend's identity was hidden, but the tone was real. Raw broken. Fans clipped it instantly. Ty breaks down after hidden marriage exposed. The caption screamed, mimicking the title of this very story. The circle was complete. By now, Jaguar Wright was untouchable. Not because she was right, but because she was unstoppable. Every time someone accused her of lying, she'd post another hint, another vague screenshot, another smirk, and every post reignited the chaos. The woman knew how to feed the algorithm like no one else. She didn't need to prove the footage existed anymore. The world already believed it did. Meanwhile, Tiny's silence stretched longer. Fans demanded a statement, a post, anything, but she stayed quiet. Some said she'd gone into hiding in Miami. Others claimed she was preparing a tell-all interview with a major network. Her team denied it all, but when paparazzi finally spotted her leaving a spa in Los Angeles, she looked composed, too composed. Wearing oversized shades and sipping coffee, she told photographers, "I ain't saying nothing. Y'all believe what y'all want." That clip alone went viral. The calm before, the storm. One comment said, and maybe they were right because just when people started moving on, another wave hit. A full transcript of a private conversation between T and a close friend was leaked online. In it, T.I. allegedly said, "If that footage ever goes public, I'm done. I'll burn the whole thing down before I let them clown me." Whether real or AI generated, no one cared. It was believable. And in scandal culture, believable is the new truth. The story wasn't fading. It was mutating. And the deeper it got, the more it felt like someone somewhere was pulling the strings just to watch the world burn. Someone somewhere was pulling the strings just to watch the world burn. Because just when it felt like the storm couldn't get darker, Jaguar Wright announced she was going public. Not another live, not another cryptic tweet, an interview, a sit-down special with a podcast host known for breaking celebrity chaos wide open. The teaser alone went viral. Jaguar sitting in a velvet chair, sunglasses on, saying, "Y'all wanna know who filmed it? It wasn't me." That one line turned social media into a crime scene. Everyone froze. If Jaguar didn't film it, then who did? The episode dropped at midnight, and within 10 minutes, it already had 500,000 views. Jaguar started calm, then lit the room on fire. "Tiny wasn't the first," she said. "This been going on. That man T built his kingdom on lies. And now them lies got receipts." The interviewer leaned in, pretending not to breathe. "So, the footage who leaked it?" Jaguar smirked, almost proud. "Let's just say the man holding the camera wasn't a stranger to TI." Boom! The internet detonated again. Speculation spread like oil on flame. Was Jaguar implying that the footage was leaked by one of T's own friends? Or worse, by someone who worked for him? A former bodyguard's name started trending after fans noticed he deleted his Instagram the same night the scandal broke. Threads started popping up. Did TI's inner circle betray him? Was the wedding footage part of a setup? Conspiracies piled up faster than truth could breathe. By the next morning, the internet had built its own story. Ty's best friend filmed the footage. Jaguar got her hands on it, and Tiny just wanted to move on. It didn't matter if any of it was real. It felt real, and that's all that counts. But while the world dissected gossip, T.I. was done talking. Reports said he went completely offline, cancelling appearances, shutting down his production schedule, even firing half his team. Sources close to him claimed he'd been mentally checked out, only speaking to his lawyers and kids. "He ain't mad no more," one friend said. "He's broken. The man's just trying to breathe." And then, like something out of a movie, an anonymous clip surfaced, showing T walking alone through an empty studio, mumbling, "I gave her everything." That clip, short, grainy, painful, became one of the most viral videos of the year. Meanwhile, Tiny's side started to fight back. Her lawyer filed a cease and desist against multiple platforms hosting the footage, calling it malicious and defamatory. But the thing about the internet is once it's out forever. The video kept getting re-uploaded, mirrored, remixed, even turned into songs. A rapper dropped a diss track called Hidden Vows, sampling Jaguar's voice, saying, "They always call me crazy till I'm right." The chorus, "Marriage on mute, lies on loop." It hit 1 million streams overnight. Jaguar, of course, loved it. She started selling t-shirts with the phrase, "Receipts never die." It was messy, profitable, and wickedly on brand. But behind all the chaos, there were whispers of danger. According to one insider, Jaguar began receiving anonymous threats, messages like, "Stop before you disappear, and the footage wasn't meant for you." She posted screenshots to prove it, saying, "I'm not scared of none of y'all." Her followers cheered, but deep down it felt darker than before. Then came the biggest twist of all. A hacker group calling themselves Truth in Files claimed they had obtained the original unedited video from Jaguar's cloud drive. They released a written statement saying, "The world deserves to know who orchestrated the leak and why." People didn't believe it until a short clip surfaced, showing the same footage, but from a different angle and in the reflection of a glass door. Clear as day, you could see the person holding the camera. It wasn't Jaguar. It wasn't Tiny. It wasn't the producer. It was T himself. The internet lost its mind. For days, hashtags like One self-leak, and Ono Tai plays, trended non-stop. He filmed his own humiliation. One tweet said, "This is Shakespeare-level tragedy." Another wrote, "So T recorded her secret wedding just to leak it later. That's not pain, that's vengeance." Some said it was fake, deep-faked for drama, but others believed every pixel, because nothing in this saga had felt this twisted and poetic. In less than 24 hours, blogs published think pieces, calling it the most disturbing celebrity revenge story ever. Reporters said the footage had been recorded months ago, before Jaguar ever mentioned it. That meant T.I. knew. He'd known all along. He let the world think he was blindsided, heartbroken, destroyed, when in reality, he had orchestrated every leak, every post, every tear. He built a scandal around himself just to destroy Tiny's image publicly. The king didn't fall. He burned his own castle. And the irony, it worked. Tiny's deals fell through. Her team fractured. Her reputation took the hit. Meanwhile, T disappeared from social media, resurfacing weeks later with one cryptic post. A photo of a chessboard captioned, "Game over." That post broke the internet all over again. Some called it genius, others called it evil. But everyone agreed, no one plays. Like T Jaguar Wright, realizing she'd been manipulated, went nuclear. In her next live, she screamed at the camera, "You used me. You set me up." She accused T of feeding her the footage, to make her look like the villain. "I thought I was exposing corruption," she said, tears mixing with anger. Turns out the weapon. Her fans turned against her overnight. The comments were brutal. "You got played. You became the drama you warned us about. Now you're just another pawn." It was chaos, consuming chaos, and by the time the dust settled, nobody was clean. Tiny stayed silent. Jaguar disappeared offline for a month. And T, he dropped a new track titled "Forever Done," a slow, haunting song with lyrics that cut deep. I buried the truth in plain sight, and y'all still miss the body. The music video opened with a single frame, the same reflection that had exposed him. Fans called it art. Critics called it sociopathic. Either way, it topped charts in a week. The story had come full circle, but no one knew what to believe anymore. Was it love turned to hate, or a master plan gone too far? One ex-employee from T.I.'s team summed it up best. He played everyone, even himself. That's what happens when pride becomes your PR. Months later, a small update surfaced. Paparazzi spotted T and Tiny at the same charity gala, standing apart, but smiling politely for cameras. No talking, no tension, just quiet professionalism. But those who saw it in person said when the flashlights turned off, they walked separate ways without saying a word. And that was it. No statement, no reconciliation, no truth, just silence. The kind that feels heavier than any scandal. The internet moved on like it always does. But somewhere in Atlanta, that footage still exists. Proof that love can be recorded, edited, weaponized, and erased. Because in this game, nobody wins. They just leak slower. So now the question is, did Jaguar Wright really expose a secret wedding? Or did T.I. orchestrate the greatest revenge leak in hip-hop history? Was Tiny the betrayer? Or just another casualty in a war of ego and power? Because when love turns into a headline, the truth doesn't matter anymore. Only who leaked first. What started as a whisper turned into a weapon, and what used to be a marriage became the most viral heartbreak the internet's ever seen. We watched 3 people destroy each other in real time. A singer who thought she was free, a rapper who thought he was in control, and a whistleblower who thought she was telling the truth. But in the end, they were all trapped in the same storm, playing for clicks, fighting for narrative, bleeding for content. That's what fame does. It takes your real tears, filters them through outrage, and sells them as entertainment. And maybe that's the real tragedy here. Not who cheated, not who filmed, not who leaked, but how quickly we all hit play. Every view, every comment, every share turned pain into profit. T.I.'s silence, Tiny's denial, Jaguar's chaos, all became currency in the same marketplace of drama. So, what happens next? Does another tape surface? Does Tiny clap back with her own version of the truth? Or does Jaguar drop one more live that sets the industry on fire again? Because in this world, no secret stays buried, and no marriage dies quietly. This is Gossip Spill Vibe, where scandals don't sleep, lies talk louder than love, and every story burns brighter than the last. And remember, this story isn't ending. It's just beginning. And remember, this story isn't ending. It's just beginning.